Saksham Bansal is an electrical engineering student at Georgia Tech, currently working on an innovative system that integrates ground sensors and aerial drones to optimize agricultural practices. It's called Soilhawk. His affinity for technology and profound concern for the environment has largely shaped his perspectives and aspirations, and as such, he was recently recommended as the Water Ambassador of Gurgaon by the Ministry of Water Resources in India, and he joins me today. Welcome, Saksham.
Thank you so much for having me here.
It's really wonderful to have you. I'm really looking forward to finding out more about everything that you've been doing, because Saksham, you've worked on some incredibly innovative solutions for environmental issues using tech. What inspired you to start that?
Okay, so basically, I've always been passionate about creating a positive impact on the environment and also have a keen interest towards microcontrollers and robotics. So I guess it's all started back in 2019 when my school organized a cleanliness drive in the neighborhood, which was part of the Prime Minister's Cleanliness Drive initiative. So I actively took part in that. Going forward, I took part in a waste segregation campaign in my condominium, making it a zero waste society. And one of my biggest inspiration is also my mom, who's also personally passionate about environment. So that's pretty much it, that it kept on going, that my in both the interest combining sustainability with technology, I started addressing environmental challenges with my technical solutions. So trying to make difference with all the tools and resources that was available to me.
Amazing, and wonderful that your mum is an inspiration behind that as well. That's really lovely to hear. So I mentioned already that you're currently working on a project called Soilhawk. What can you tell us about that project?
Sure. So Soilhawk is basically a project which has two components to it. One is the ground and the aerial one. My basic major aim behind the Soilhawk is to provide innovative agricultural solution targeting three main things, which is the crop yield, the pest management, and majorly my major interest field, which is the water usage. So the ground sensors, the ground part of it uses soil moisture sensor, humidity sensor, which goes through precision irrigation of the crops, and also has a pH level to see if the acidity of the crops is right for them. And the aerial part of it is using high spectral sensors to analyze the plant health, and that data can be analyzed and given to the farmer so that he can take immediate action to whatever needs to be done and minimize the loss and minimize also the usage of pesticides in the plants.
Amazing. That sounds absolutely incredible, really, really incredible. And I love that you've got a focus on, on water, because it's such a valuable resource. And I think, that so much water gets wasted. So the fact that your project's doing so much for sustainability, but also for the water is really, really amazing. You presented the Soilhawk project at one of the largest sustainability hackathons recently in the United States. How did that go? How was it received?
Oh, it was great participating in one of the largest hackathons in the United States. It was an incredible experience. It was my first time participating in any such event. Presenting Soilhawk was both exciting and challenging because Soilhawk had a lot of technical components to it, which I had to explain. But it did go in our favor. We won the sponsor award, and it was definitely a huge boost and motivation for me to take forward this initiative and actually implement this project.
Yeah, amazing. That must have been really, really amazing, especially winning the award as well and being recognised for the work that you're putting into it. It's always wonderful to get that recognition, I think. So additionally, on top of the other things that you're doing, you are exploring new sustainability ideas through your own startup, which is Stave. What have you achieved so far with that?
Okay, so Stay basically I launched it in 2021, and there are three live projects in it right now, which is Rootry, Dripmise, and Opticure. Rootry is a irrigation-based system. Dripmise is an automatic timer tap, and Opticure is a cane for visually impaired to guide them. So I will specifically talk about DripMize here. DripMize, the automatic timer tap, I designed it back in the pandemic with limited resources. Never thought I would scale it to this level. So my idea behind it was following the WHO guidelines. We had to rub our hands with soap for 20 seconds. So no one was actually interested in properly washing their hands. So I targeted that as well as saving water because we tend to leave the tap open when we're washing our hands with soap. So I designed it in such a manner that it would only use the water when necessary. So it would turn on, wet in your hands, and then turn off for a while so that you can rub your hands with soap, and would also force you to rub your hands with soap for 20 seconds, and later again give you water to rinse your hand. So this idea was also appreciated by the Ministry of Water Resources in India. And through Stive, I implemented this in a customer's working facility where he saves right now around 96,000 liters of water monthly. So, first of all, thinking of this idea, getting an award, and actually implementing this was my first project that went from like idea to a real world solution.
That must have been so amazing to see it being implemented, and I'm astounded by the amount of water that you managed to save. Something we don't really even think about when we're washing our hands, that leaving that tap running even for a small period of time, if everybody's doing that, the amount of water that is being wasted as a result of that. So having something that does it automatically, because we are quite lazy when it comes to doing the simple task of switching things off just so that we can conserve water, is incredible and will save so much. So in addition to that, you also worked on an idea for Indian Railways, and that I know has the potential to conserve 7.34 billion litres of water annually, which is astounding as a figure. How does that work? Is it a similar way, or what? How does that work?
Okay, so this is a very basic idea. There's nothing technical into it. So this idea actually came back when I was coming back from my school. I could see the water dripping from the bus in front of me, the school bus. So I went on thinking, why is it so? So I realized that the air conditioning units do condense a lot of water and we're actually wasting it. So I thought of implementing it in the Indian Railways. So Indian Railway network is one of the biggest networks in the world with like thousands of trains running across the country. So I thought of reusing the AC condensed water and instead of relying on the fresh water, which after my calculations was actually up to 7.34 billion liters of water annually. And moreover, this water can be used by the Indian Railways for their own platforms or within the trains because this can be purified and cleaned for general purposes. Also, the trains do go to remote areas which do not have water at this point and can also transfer the water to places where water scarcity is a prominent issue. And neither the cost of implementation is a lot because the tanks are already installed. You just have to make some minor pipelines from the AC ducts to the water tanks, and that's it.
Amazing. And that's the beauty, I think, is that, innovation doesn't have to be massively complicated, but actually it can make such a huge difference to organizations. And the railway, I mean, that potential to conserve that much water is going to be a real game changer for them, I think. So obviously it's very, very apparent that water conservation is a huge thing for you, a huge passion for you when it comes to coming up with these different innovations. And in 2023, you won a Global Youth Award for Environmental Leadership as a result of the amazing work and innovation that you've been doing. How did it feel to be recognized internationally for your innovations?
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for the award. It was like a huge honor for me to receive the Global Youth Award. Being recognized at an international level for my work was truly inspiring and motivating. And I'm also excited for my role as the Global Youth Change Ambassador. It would be a great opportunity to take my work forward and also make a positive impact on the world.
Yeah, and as part of the role, we actively encourage you to liaise and connect and collaborate with all of the other youth ambassadors. As you know, I think creating a global youth network is so important in terms of leading the future forward. So we're really excited for what we can do and how we can work with you and opportunities that we'll be able to offer you as well. And I guess final question, really, what does the future hold for you, Saksham?
Future home?
What does the future hold? What are your aspirations for the future?
Okay, my future aspirations would be to actually tackle the small sustainability or the environmental problems that we are facing in the everyday world, whether it's electricity, water, or general things. I want to tackle them with innovative solutions and tech.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. I have no doubt that you will achieve that whatsoever. I think it's going to be really exciting to see the next innovations that you come up. So thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. We're going to share the links to the projects that you're working on so that people can find out more about what you're doing. And again, I'm really excited to have you on board as a Global Change Ambassador and to be able to work with you moving forward. So thanks very much for joining me today.
Thank you so much. Even I'm really excited to be part of the board.
Amazing. Thank you.